it would. And here we are with them just trying to prop it up and tell us everything's fine. But the fact that first it's 600 million, then a billion, then 1.2, and then 3, and more than 3 billion. And the fact that they're trying to test right now to see if they can just take accounts. And that's what Peter Schiff said earlier in the last hour, that it looks like this may be the new economic policy is to just loot, and that they're testing it out. And that's what's going on here. They wouldn't be doing this right now if they didn't have the money, and if they didn't want to just see if they could get away with it, and if they couldn't deliver that. And it clearly is not just extortion. It's more than that. It's embezzling. They took your segregated account that was yours, and they even tried to have their minions and operatives spin it that it's all your fault. Yeah, it's going to be all your fault too, folks, when they devalue what's left of your retirement and your dollars and loot your pension funds. Yeah, it's all good. And then the government's going to take them over to protect them and dole out what's left of it. It's going to be your fault again. I mean, they are really, really getting into dangerous waters here. Now, Gerald, this has been going on. This has been going on a week and a half before you broke it a week and a half ago. So this has been going on like a month now, almost 4 weeks. And you're clearly talking to these people. Or what have you learned since we talked last Tuesday or Wednesday when you talk to them? Do they just say, not gonna get it? Because, you know, a few weeks ago, it's like, you'll get some of it later. Now it's just, we don't know where it went. I mean, as if the federal regulators and people couldn't go right into the transfer records. I mean, you know, I go get $1,000 in cash out of the bank to act like I'm a bank robber, even though it's, you know, the company's money, my money. But now they just don't know where it is, Gerald.
Exactly. Like I said, look how quick they found Gaddafi's money. And anytime they overthrow anybody, they grab their money right away. What, they can't find this dough? Who are they kidding? The money's not there. It's nowhere. And again, the big story is the CME group. They call them, you know, that's an abbreviation for Chicago Mercantile Exchange. How about the Chicago Mafia Enterprise? How about this whole thing? You've been talking about it, the news story that broke over the weekend that we knew about for a long time, about how the Federal Reserve was dumping trillions of dollars into the banks. And they refused to report it, and we just got the information now. And here's the big lie. You heard the Jamie Dimons. You heard the blank fines. You know, the Goldman Sachs gang, the Merrill Lynch mob, the Morgan Stanley Marauders. You heard all of them saying, we don't need the money. They made us take it. And then now you look at how much money the Fed gave them, and they were in trouble. But they're saying in public, hey, our books are okay, man. We're solid. Could anybody call that fraud? How can they get away with it? And we are pinned to the wall as people, citizens, for every minor infraction that we break. Every little tiny thing. You can't get into your car without driving to A to B without breaking the law. But boy, oh boy, these guys could lie on the media in front of everybody, and the Fourth Estate pleads the Fifth. Not a word. And you know why? Because they're all in bed together. Mouse Blitzer. What is that guy? Anderson Cooper 360? How about AC/DC 180? What a bunch of baloney over there.
All right, well, let's go back here, though. So you've been talking to these brokers and people, or so they're just saying?
They won't give us any information. The media won't follow up on it. We've been contacting all of them. It's one big cover-up. That's all it is. The whole system is collapsing. The money's not there. If the money's there, put the money on the table. They can't put the money on the table. The money's not there, the gold's not there. The only thing that's out there, Alex, is a lot of hot air.
And Gerald, you know what they're going to do. As soon as the collapse accelerates, they're going to launch a new war, stage some terror attacks. Everybody will say, the government took my bank account, but they're fighting Al-Qaeda, and they'll go out and salute the flag. The TSA is going to walk up and say, I'm groping your daughters, and they'll say, go ahead, it's to fight Al-Qaeda. The TSA person will say, well, actually, I'm just a pervert, but okay. Let's talk about how this is going to unravel the different angles. all you Americans and others out there who want to buy into evil and think the system cares about you, oh, it cares about you real good. You're going to find out how much it cares about you. Straight ahead with Gerald Celente. Stay with us. Final segment straight ahead. Yeah, Gerald Celente, and none of us can hide from these people. They're going to steal everything and nail down. And Gerald was getting physical delivery of his gold. They just said, nope, you put your money in this account to buy it. Just like you buy something online, say from Amazon.com. Let's say you buy a book for $50, some rare book. And then it never comes, and you call them, and they just say, we don't know where the money is. Well, I want my refund. We're not going to talk to you. That's what it is. And so no silver dollar for Gerald Celente. They just took it. And they admit in Reuters and other places is sending shockwaves across the country. The official show ends in about 4 minutes, but I'm going to go into overdrive and take the calls for those that are holding. It'll be internet only, Infowars.com, but I promise to get to you, so get ready with your quick comment because I want to hear from you. Gerald, so how do you expect this to unfold? How do you expect this to be rolled out? You heard me make the point of they love to give us a war, as you've been saying in the last year, the next great war of the 21st century. Well, that was your trend at the start of this year, and certainly they're getting ready for that right now. So, I mean, what else are they going to do to try to get away with this?
Well, they're going to call a bank holiday of some sort, is my belief. You asked me for an update. I just had one on my account. Now, to make this really clear for all those who can't understand this, in April of this year, I bought a contract to take delivery in gold at the end of this month. I bought the gold at $1,443 an ounce. That was the agreement. The day that MF Global went bankrupt, they emptied out my account. They transferred my contract to another company, R.J. O'Brien. But I didn't buy gold at $1,443. That's only my imagination, and that's only what all the paperwork says. According to R.J. O'Brien and those SOBs over there and CME Group and the rest of them, the trustees, I actually bought my gold at $1,767 an ounce. That's what they're telling me. So now when I take delivery, no. Now we're talking, let's just do the math. For 100 ounces, we're talking a $30,000 plus difference. Now they're telling me, no, you didn't buy it at $1,443 because we emptied out your account, sucker. We gave the money to our buddies. We're going to call them trustees, and they're going to charge a lot of money to do this, to give them the money so you could trust them. You got nothing, Celente. Your gold is $1,767 an ounce, even though today, as we speak, what is it, Alex? $1,707 an ounce?
Yeah, let me just stop you right there. So 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, you're finally getting some spin, and now, even though your paperwork says you bought gold at this, they're spinning that as an excuse to say why they're keeping your money. So they finally came up with a new scam, and you say this just came in from them while we were on the break.
Yeah, I just got the mail. Just in between the break, they brought it over to me.
Well, stop. We're going to have to go into overdrive. I know you're very busy, Gerald, but can you stay there or take us out to break? Because this is breaking news. This is from what specific group?
R.J. O'Brien is the transfer group that they sent my account to.
Okay, and again, for people that are thick like me, explain, I mean, I get it, but explain it to like a 5-year-old right now.
I bought the gold contract at $1,443 an ounce. The day that MF Global went bankrupt, they emptied out my account of all my money and gave my contract to R.J. O'Brien. They set the price of my gold now, not at $1,443. They made a new deal. The day of the transfer, gold was selling for $1,767 an ounce. That's how much I bought my gold for, not $1,443.
Even though you have a contract that you bought it at 14, and that, of course, was your risk and then your profit. Incredible. Gerald, I've got to hear exactly how they plan to spin this now. On the other side, incredible breaking news. And if you're receiving this transmission, you actually care about reality and want to be informed and want to stand up for good. All right, I promise to get the calls. What I'm doing is I'm taking your names and numbers. If you want, you can be first in line tomorrow. I apologize, but this is too breaking. I was going to end the show, come back internet only at Prisonplanet.tv and the Infowars streams. still a formidable audience, and go to your calls. But just breaking, because we're a month into this trying to get answers all over the news. They're just like Reuters, Forbes. Well, guess the money's gone. Nobody's going to ask. And now we can figure out how they're going to try to spin it and say, oh, and again, he's in a futures. He bets. He has to put the money in at that amount. If it actually was to, go up, he makes a profit. If not, if it went down, he could lose. And instead now, they're basically taking his profit. Explain how that's a screw job, Gerald, what they've done to you.
Here's a statement. Remember I told you it wasn't MF Global. Here's an earlier statement, Lind Waldock. They were bought out by MF Global. So all you imbeciles out there that are saying, hey, how could you deal with MF Global? Didn't you know Causeline was out of it? No, I didn't. Even if I knew it, I wouldn't know he was.
You've been dealing with him since the 70s. Trolls live in their mother's basements, eating Hot Pockets. Don't worry about
those imbeciles, here's the statement. And then you'll see over here it says, Comex Gold, $1,443, right? That's April of this year. I bought it in April knowing that I would take delivery of it in December. Here's the con. Here's the scam. Could you see that?
R.J. O'Brien.
Could you see the words across the top?
Corrected statement.
Of course. It was a mistake. All of these statements from April to now, it was my imagination. It's a corrected statement. I should know better. They corrected it.
That's why they took your 6 figures.
Exactly. Oh. Now it's $1,765 an ounce. It was my imagination. The SOBs. They make this crap up as they go along. There are no laws. This is fraudulent behavior. Oh, no, Mr. Celente. Let me get this straight. We got a trustee, that's right. Yeah. Me and Maya Lansky and Dutch Schultz and Al Capone, we made up a new story.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all it is. And you're too stupid, Celente, to understand it. We took your money, and you're not getting it back because we gave it to our buddies. End of story. And everybody out there, listen up. Washington Mutual, Countrywide, Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, Merrill Lynch, Anglo-Irish, Dexia. You go down the list, Schwab. I don't care who it is. You don't know what's going on behind the doors, and you don't know the deals being made, and you don't know where your money is. I don't care what pension you have. I don't care what benefits you think you have. You got nothing.
Oh, wait till America. That's really like a bank holiday. They just closed it down for a month and then sent you a statement and said, your 6+ figures went bye-bye, Celente. Doesn't matter what all your paperwork and contracts say. The Easter Bunny took it, along with the Tooth Fairy.
Statement. They sent me a corrected statement.
Yeah, I mean, big deal.
That's the con.
And that's what a bank holiday is. They close it for a week, and when you come back, the dollar's been devaluated by a big chunk. And if you don't like it, SWAT teams are standing by.
That's right. They're taking over. Look what they do. Look what's going on in this country when you got...
Gerald, this is too incredible. Can I know you're super busy, but is there any way you could look at this for like 30 minutes and then shoot a quick interview for the nightly news so we can really figure out exactly, because this is breaking. We're now getting some answers. This is huge. That's it for the transmission. See you on the nightly news tonight, 7 o'clock.